I grew up in a rural part of Western Maryland, and when I was a kid, it was quite rural, and there weren't really very many other children to play with. And so most of my early memories are of exploring the woods that we lived in with my mom, and lifting up logs and looking for worms and salamanders and grubs and snails, or lifting up rocks in the creek and finding crayfish and tadpoles, and coming across turtles and other marvelous creatures in the woods and in the field. I believe my first pet that belonged exclusively to me, I grew up with a big old pack of dogs, and we'd all play together outside. But my first pet was a cricket that I found outside, and I kept in a great big jar with holes punched in the top, and I fed him my dad's expensive health food rice cakes, which he seemed to love. And I would keep crickets and other little creatures as pets for a little while, and then I'd let them go. But always while I was keeping them, I'd really anthropomorphize them. I'd figure out whether they were boys or girls, just based on their behaviors. This one sniffs flowers a lot, so it must be a girl. And I would name them and give them personality traits. I'd sometimes introduce friends to them, which didn't always work out that well. And I loved drawing them too. I loved drawing all creatures, but I particularly loved drawing insects. And I even later on, when I realized that I wanted to be an artist, I thought for a while that I might want to be a scientific illustrator because I enjoyed drawing animals so much. And I took some courses in college in scientific illustration and spent my days stippling pinned and dead dragonflies and little dead fish floating in formaldehyde in jars. And it was really interesting work in those classes, and I enjoyed it in some way, I enjoyed it in lots of ways, but I knew that it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. I had more of a fantastical bent, and I wanted to make things up, and I wanted to make up strange stories. And so I abandoned that path, but I took some of the things that I learned with me.